Hello, this is Shankar, and today's topic is about honor and disgrace. I mean, today everybody is running after wealth, power, and money. I mean, these are three very important things, and everybody who comes to me asks this. But I mean, the most important thing, which is a constant, and which is a given thing, and which one should always um, try to behold and keep it very close to your heart is that you should not get disgraced. You should not get disgraced. That is most important. That even if you don't earn too much of wealth in your life and you earn only reasonable wealth, and also you don't earn too much of wealth to lose that wealth, or you earn too much of fame and money to get disgraced. I mean, I don't know. And the third thing would be to have a constant kind of a respect and a kind of a honorable life. That is more important than the other two things. But however, there could be differences that people say that it's better to earn wealth and get disgraced, or better to have power, see power to get disgraced. At least we see power than to lead a life uh, which is an honorable life. Where you don't get disgraced, where you don't get humiliated, where you don't fall down. But anyway, things are changing. But my topic today is, let's understand what is important. And for me, I think, let me take it in a way that what is important is that your honor should be always maintained. Your honor is most important. And for that, in a horoscope, the most important house is the eighth house. Now, when we say that honor has to be maintained, though eighth house looks after longevity also, the most important planet which governs your getting disgraced, etc., is the eighth house. And here, one, I repeat here, one, what is most important is that the eighth house should not be strong. A weak Lord eighth house helps here. Similarly, a weak Lord of sixth house also helps here. So sixth house also indicates, enemies, deaths, and eighth house basically whether you will get disgraced or you will get dishonored. That is what the eighth house indicates. So it is important that when a thing has not to happen, the Lord of that house should be weak. The Lord of eighth house and Lord of sixth house should be weak. Now, what it should be weak with respect to what? One is, yes, they should be weak, and it is important. And but the thing is, if eighth and sixth house are weak, it shows that there are less chances of you getting dishonor. You know. Now, what is it with which it has to be seen? And the most important planet in the horoscope is the Lagnesh, or we call it the Lagnadipati. The Lagnadipati or the Lagnesh is the most important house, and that that is the Lagnesh, the Lagnapati. Even take the planets which are in Lagna, combinedly cumulative be should be stronger than the eighth house and the sixth house. That is the key to the whole thing, that they should be stronger. Now, if the eighth house is stronger than the first house, Lord of first house, the Lord of eighth house is stronger than Lord of first house, or Lord of sixth house is stronger than Lord of first house, there are problems. So this is how you have to see whether, in an horoscope there is honor or disgrace, or what are the things which can happen. Now, it is all said, and it is also said that in a Parvata Yoga, which is known as the Parvata Yoga, that if the Kendras are occupied by benefics, the 6th, 8th, and 12th Lord are unoccupied, you can become the master of great wealth and great honor and great position. Right. But that is, let's understand the slokas. Various Vedic books have been written, but they have to be related with the other shlokas which have come in the past. You just cannot pick up one shlok and use it uh, you know indiscreetly. That is what is wrong, and what happens is, and it is a very complicated thing when you read our old textures, because it shows that if this is there, then there are preconditions for this to be also there. We do not see the preconditions of which other the planets where should be placed, but we only just pick up one sutra or one particular thing out of it and put it and try to apply to it. So it gets complicated. So basically, one should understand astrology with its basics, and that is most critical. So if there are malefic planets in your sixth and eighth house, and if they are aspected by benefics, it is good. Jupiter is a big benefit, and if Jupiter aspects your eighth house, it is very good. Similarly, the Lord of Eight, if it is in third house, it not only protects your honor, but also protects your longevity. Now, how does it do it? Because third is eighth from eighth. So Lord of Eight goes from his house to the eighth house. So that is how it happens. That the Lord of eighth house becomes less stronger. The third house, I mean, it's eighth to eighth, so it increases the power of the third house. So the important is that you have to understand it in this way, and obviously, please see the Lagnesh and the Lagnadipati, because that is the key to the whole thing when we analyze this. What is important is when we talk about disgrace, honor and honor, we always relate it to power and prestige. So the planet which looks mainly into our prestige and the kind of prestige we will enjoy in life is the 10th house. So what is important, what becomes important again here is your Lagnesh and the 10th house. Now if the 10th house is stronger and it's an Upchai house, 3, 6, 10 and 11 are Upchai houses. And so what is important is you have to see the power of the 10th house with respect to the Lagnesh. A connection of Lagnesh with the 10th house is extremely good. It enhances your power and prestige. Similarly, you have to see the benefics which are situated in the 6th house, or the Lord of 6th, is it aspected by benefics or not. Now, the important is then it becomes which are 3 houses, that is the Lagnesh, the 8th house and the 10th house. In between these houses, Lagnesh, 8th and 10th, I mean, now today you have computerized horoscopes and you have the balas and you have the strength of the houses and strength of the planets. That can give a bird's eye view. You have to see which is the strongest house. Is the 10th house strongest? Suppose the 10th house is strongest, Lagnesh is after that and 8th is after that. You may get into problems in terms of your handling issues of prestige, but ultimately you will be able to climb over then and retain your prestige. I'm talking about horoscopes in general, and that could be anybody. It could be a billionaire, it could be a politician, it could be anybody. So you have to see these 3 houses in a chronology. And I believe that if Lagnesh is strongest, then the 10th house next, and the weakest in 8th house is good. The weaker the 8th house, the better it is. Lagnesh should be strong, and then the 10th house. It gives the kind of a balance between the 3 things, and also makes you to analyze astrologically what is the prestige which the person will hold and what will be the honor which the person will get. When we come to the houses of 3, 6, 10 and 11, we always say that the malefics do well, and that is why I say in 10th house the malefics actually do well. And I consider Saturn to be a very important planet and a very good planet. Saturn, if it is in Aquarius or Capricorn in 10th house with other professions, it makes a person a judge, a magistrate. That is the power of Saturn. So Saturn in 10th house is very good. Saturn in 10th house, when it is a Rajyo Karak, I mean in case of Venus or Taurus, Lagnas, it again does very well in 10th house. Saturn is a slow planet and it does very well. It's only when it is a functional malefic and when it is in 10th house, it will give you, it will always give you, Saturn will give you to take it. So, so malefics in 10th house, when they are malefics, it gives to take. It will give you honor, it will give you respect, it will give you money, it will give you, whatever, depends on the combination Raj Yoga you have in the planet, in the 10th house, it will give to take if it is a, even if it is a functional malefic, it is the moon Trikon sign is owned by 6, 8, 12, and the other house is owned by a Trikon. I mean, the basic principles of astrology, which I'll not go in details, which you would know, that what makes a planet a functional benefic and a functional malefic. So that is what is the power of, that is what Saturn does. And I have a great respect for Saturn. It's a slow planet, and it is an important planet as far as 10th house is concerned. In fact, my experience shows that Sun and Mars together in an horoscope in the 10th house uh, creates a lot of problems. It makes a person very cruel. Sun and Mars together makes a person a cruel person. He may be a person who can, tell you to go and do 10 murders if the other things are not well, and come back. That is the kind of normal which I've seen Sun and Mars has if it is not aspected by a benefit. Sun and Mars gets aspected by Jupiter. It's a very, very big saving factor. I mean, it elevates the horoscope to a different level altogether. So, that is how you have to analyze. And here, when I talk about Jupiter, Jupiter is very important. Jupiter's placement in 6th and 8th is also very good. Only in terms of I'm talking here the whole horoscopes, analysis only on the issue of your honor, your prestige. So it is very good, and Jupiter in Lagna is always a very good saving factor when you come to the issues with respect to honorability or issues of getting respect, issues of being truthful to yourself. You could have issues of marriage, you could have issues of things, but you are truthful in terms of what you are doing. You can look eye to eye and do a thing, right or wrong, that's not the issue. So Jupiter is a very big healer, especially when if it is in a Rashi, which is a friendly Rashi. So that kind of, and it is not conjunct with any negative planet like Rahu, etc. So, because those things are important, but Jupiter is a very big healer when it is in Lagna, and Jupiter is a very big healer when it is in the 10th house. So Jupiter in 10th house, I consider it to be very good. The person, depending on the power of Jupiter, the person looks after a large number of people. It could be a small family, to a big clan, to a big, a big nation, country, politics. Something where he takes care of a big kutum. His kutum is very big. It could be depending on other things. His kutum is very big. So Jupiter makes you a provider when it is in the 10th house, and I find it to be very good. The next two planets which are very important is Sun and Moon. And I consider the Sun to be more important than the Moon. At the end of the day, waxing moon, waning moon, and we have the theories of benefic moon and a malefic moon. But at the end of the day, moon is reflected light. It has the glory of reflected light. So, the moon is very important. The moon looks after your movement. The moon is the karak of your mind. The moon is the karak of your emotion. The moon, and let's understand, the sun represents in our astrology, which is the elephant. So, it is the elephant. Sun in 10th house is elephant. And a moon reflects, moon actually denotes a horse. So, all the characteristics of horse are there in a moon: the agility, the quickness, the impulsiveness, the rashness, the quick this thing, and the moon can also kick you from, the horse can kick you from the back. So it's all, they say घोड़े की पिछाड़ी बहुत dangerous होती है. So these things become very critical in case of moon, but moon is the next most important planet, and a moon which is good in 10th house and is there in 10th house may give you a power, position and prestige which you may maintain for a long time if it is respected by Jupiter or any other benefit of your planet, even Venus. Venus and Jupiter, I consider them to be very good in the 10th house for, in terms of your honor and display, honorability. If it in 10th house or related to the 10th house lord, of, So that is very important because 10th house is very important for your prestige and other things. But remember that uh, sun is the highest I would rate, and moon gives you a kind of a constancy, a kind of a equilibrium, a kind of a flow, a kind of a thera when it is respected by any other good benefic planets. So Jupiter, Venus, and Moon, that they have their difference when you analyze it in terms of being in 10th house and what they do and what they do not do. So, so that is how you have to see the planets which are there with the Lord of 10th or which are in the 10th house. And my belief is that the Lord of 9th and 10th also don't do very well. I mean, they will not do extremely well, and give them we give them a lot of importance to the lot of time and together. But they will only do good only if it is in some relationship with the Lagna, the Lagnesh, or there is some planet which is depositor of the Lagnesh. So depending on the strength, how it is associated with the Lagna and Lagnesh, it plays a very important role. And 9th and 10th, whatever is said about the power of the 9th and 10th combo only comes when it is with the Lagnesh and Lagnadipati. So the Lagnesh and the Lagnadipati are very important, where it is placed, with which planets it is conjunct, malefic planets or benefic planets. And that gives a lot of idea of the understanding of a horoscope in terms of everything. Now, this last thing which comes is, you need to, important in all these things is also peace of mind. Because if you talk about this honor and your peace of mind is extremely critical, that you should be calm, you should be composed. And for that, when we talk about the houses, they are the moksha houses, and really nobody attains moksha because there is nobody in the present world who can come to the level that of total detachment of materialistic comforts and but there were saints before, but I mean that is not there today. So fourth house is very important. That the moksha houses which do all this is the fourth, eighth, and 12th house. These are the three houses which I call the moksha trikon. Fifth is fourth, eighth is fifth, and 12th is ninth. So this is the moksha trikon, and a planet like Jupiter placed in the fourth house does very well because it respects the 10th house, it respects the 8th house, and it respects the 12th house. So here a person is cautious about his prestige. He works for his honor, and he's also bothered about the other world and his karmas which are there. So one should also look at the fourth house. Malefics in fourth house don't do well, and they give you a mental anxiety, a mental kind of instability, mental anxiety, peace is not there. You think negative, you have issues. So I also put them in terms of your whole persona and your way of action. So that is that is another thing one has to see. And one has to understand that you have to take, and I repeat it in all my this thing, each video which I said that don't think that all planets do only good and all planets do only bad. And you see, if you have the Lord of 2nd and 11th together and respected by a good planet and even by other planets, it's a kuber. It's like a dhana yoga, kuber yoga. The person will be like a kuber. And one should remember the second house is the Marak house because it is 12th to 3rd. And it is a Marak house on all practical means, and 11th house in the case of a Chara Rashi, that is watery sign, movable Rashi like your Cancer, Scorpio, and others. It is a badak. It is creates problem. So second element together will give you wealth, but they make it create various other problems depending on a lot of other things, and that could be health issues. That could be so many other problems. So let's understand wealth is one thing, and the same planets can give you other things. And this is one example. Second and 11th together is the Dhan Yoga, Kuber Yoga, and if placed in the right Kendra and aspected, depending, vary from A to Z. I mean, so but 1 to 100. So that is critical for to understand. And the most, all above all these things, what I say is important is the divine grace. That when you are in problems, when you have issues, you should have divine grace to protect you. And the worst of situations, just come out of it and manage yourself and gain back credibility. And for that, you have to have a relationship of the ninth house with Jupiter, some way or the other. And that is the way when your credibility, etc., will increase. The ninth aspected by Jupiter, the ninth house, the ninth lord should have some aspect of Jupiter, which is actually the planet which gives you the divine grace that you get protected from a lot of disgrace, and there's always a divine protection, and that I see is the most important. And with this, I end my video, where I've talked about the 8th house, the 6th house, the 10th house, the planets in 10th house, the Lagnesh, the importance of Lagnesh and the Lagnadipati, the importance of Sun, Moon, Mars, and the malefic planets in 10th house, the importance of 4th house, the importance of planets there can't be two sides of the same coin, and the divine grace which you need to maintain your honorability. This is a video where I would like people to hear it, and then start researching, start pondering, start thinking, start looking at the horoscopes with these indications. Sometimes we know a lot, but if you put a thing in a perspective, in an operating process, then a person starts looking at it that way, and comes to conclusions and understands, and astrology is all about experience. Thank you for watching. If you watched my video, please share my video with others. Please also like my video. I'm not a professional. Since I have time during the COVID-19 days, I'm making these videos. I hope you like my videos. And you can write to me, connectingminds@gmail.com. I have my site, shankerstudy.com, books and saga publication. My website is shankeradawal.com. Please go into them and you can understand me and my personality. I do it as a religion. I understood this from my father, and I've been doing it for the last 4 decades. But the only thing is I don't have the time. So I mean, a lot of questions come, and a lot of people ask, so I try to convert those things into a video and try to explain to people as to how you can see it. But I do try to reply some queries of people who are really in a bad situation, not the generic things, who are really into bad situation, and I can understand the queries of it. Try to answer the queries also wherever required. And at some point of time, perhaps they say that anything free is not good, so I would start charging, say, from 11,000, 21,000, and telling 2-3 questions, and use that for a good purpose in Vrindavan, for charity of the people, where the karma is, we get related via karma and also via positive action or help to somebody. Sometimes the trail of karmas are good, sometimes the trail of karmas also are not very good, but they cannot be completely negative and completely positive. I try to do that also. Thanks, and bye for now. Thank you for this. I sign off.